All right.
All right.
So I think we're transitioning into people now.
We're transition. One of the things that I thought was interesting that the mayor said that the thing that's constant about any city is the fact that cities change. And the way that we look at art definitely has changed and evolved over time. In the course of this conversation today, hopefully we all are on the same page that art can be more and has always been more than pretty things. And as a community, how do we use art to be a tool and a resource to make the city what we want it to be?
So in the audience right now, kind of look around. You can decentralize your view from the stage. Look at who you're at the table with. There are people from all over different sectors of Milwaukee. We have public, private, governmental, nonprofit, educational, community development amongst you. So what we're going to want to do now is have a little bit of a dialogue in this room, put some of the ideas we've been hearing about in practice.
But before we dialogue about how we're going to make the city more awesome, let's make sure we know who we're talking to. 30 seconds of quick introductions, please. Who's sitting at the table? Who are you talking to? Hi, my name is...
So learn each other's names. Also, if you're at a table by yourself, join another table.
Over here?
Your timekeeping? Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent. We're all so proud of all of you. At this time, could you please open up the gold envelopes in the center of your table?
Okay, so there's manila envelopes in the middle of everyone's table. So open those up. There are packets. There should be at least one for each person sitting at your tables. So open those up. Everyone grab a packet. Hopefully everyone has something to write with. All right, so we're going to run you through this packet one page at a time. So you can feel free to cheat and look at some of the questions, but we're going to go through one at a time as a group. Okay, so tables. Your first question is, in 1 minute, you have 60 seconds for this. It's 60 seconds of love. Write without stopping all the things you love about Milwaukee. You could probably fill up more than 60 seconds with that, hopefully not less, but use 60 seconds right now to write. Go.
Do, do, do,
Oh,
do,
so nice to
do,
move.
do, do. It is. You're halfway there. You're so close. Don't worry about your spelling.
All right, 10 seconds. Pack it in. Now stop.
And time.
Look up. Now you have 5 minutes to share your lists amongst yourselves. We're not going to define a process for how you do that amongst yourselves. We have 5 minutes as tables to share your love for the city of Milwaukee with each other.
Choose your favorite 3 from your list. I'm editing what he said. Choose your favorite 3 things from your list.
Oh, yeah, that's good. All right, so good job writing and sharing, everybody. We're going to do our next prompt here. This is another quick one.
And you only have 90 seconds once again. The question is, the heart of downtown is... Please scribble. The heart of downtown is... Now, please spend the next 5 minutes discussing maybe your outlier idea of what you believe the heart of downtown is. Let's hear what you've come up with and compare notes. 5 minutes, please.
The fruit market? I'm curious what people say. find one interesting to find where you live in the center downtown, which is probably like the east side of Manhattan, you know, like, but I like, so like when you get to that, like, that's not downtown for me, but like, but for someone who isn't, who doesn't live in Milwaukee or doesn't use the city very much, like downtown probably includes like the east side, you know, like Brady Street, probably, you know, so I've noticed that as kind of like a weird, or like, I don't know, that the radius of downtown depends on who you are and how you use it. Because I have meetings in downtown, or like, you know, over here, right? On occasion. So I think this is downtown, but yeah. What do you think is the heart? Hang on. Why?
Because it's
Like the street, the whole street.
Water Street.
See, that's funny because when I
Because
heard Water Street.
everybody
Yeah.
there. You know, you got the bars, you got the restaurants, you got the art spaces, but it's just it's a one thoroughfare of downtown.
Sure. Even I would say even like entertainment-wise, like if you go to Water Street, it is racially diverse. The people who use like that part of it over there, or like or even worse. It is like I agree with you there. Yes, maybe. Could be like
Halfway mark.
Yes. Broad concepts. Yep.
I won't even do that. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. I'm glad that you guys had some good discussion about downtown. Dasha and I were talking about what we thought the heart of downtown was. What did you say?
I said Water Street.
And I said, I think Water Street is the Vina Cava of downtown.
Possibly.
Okay.
Okay, that's true. That's true. That's true.
So there has been a lot of discussion, focus. There's been criticism, moaning, belly aching. There's been excitement. There's been media about the area specifically of Wisconsin Avenue between the river, the Milwaukee River, and the interstate. So that area, so there's all these groups, a number of organizations. We even heard about the avenue before, task force, coalitions, and individuals that are doing work on this. So there's work being done on that stretch, and there are others that are looking at what can be done to do something specifically in this stretch of Wisconsin Avenue.
And the key thing to keep in mind here is we're talking about what can be done. So this isn't the moment where we're going to ask for all of your specific ideas. We're looking for ideas from 1,000 feet up. So what could be possible when we get into these next series of questions? So not the Adam, your food truck idea, not necessarily this is a business that should go in this plot, but just from 1,000-foot level, what's possible for this parcel of land?
Right. So it's important not to rush into the specific ideas that should be there. Right now we're going to talk about what are some of the context and framework we need to understand before we get into that. So as you think about the current state of West Wisconsin Avenue, what's going on there right now, we're going to want 5 reasons from you. So list 5 reasons why is West Wisconsin Avenue in the state that it's in. And you're going to have 2 minutes to write down 5 reasons to describe why West Wisconsin Avenue is in the state that it's currently in.
Dun, dun, dun. Time. Now we're going to have you chat about it in a moment, but before we get to the chat, we have another question to ask you. Do you feel West Wisconsin Avenue is important? There's another sheet for you. List 5 reasons why.
Or why not? I don't work for West Wisconsin Avenue. Wisconsin Avenue should work for me. So if you don't think downtown's relevant, that's totally your opinion, so you don't need to shape what you think to any, and if you think it's very relevant, that's fine too. So you can feel free to be honest, there's no right answers.
Please do.
All right, guys, you are very dutiful and a beautiful group of people.
Very
I'm surprised at
impressive.
how well everyone's participating. Not that I had any other expectations, but you're doing a good job.
Wish I had candy for all of you.
All right, so now you have these 2 questions that you just answered. Take 8 minutes at your tables to discuss amongst yourselves. So do you feel West Wisconsin Avenue is important? And the other one.
Why is it in the state that it's in? That's why we're a team, Adam. That's why we're a team.
And your TV is holding.
All right, so we're going to move on, keep moving here. So the Creative Alliance is one of the groups that has helped produce this event today, and they've been tapped by the Wisconsin Avenue Milwaukee Development Corporation, or WAMDC, to facilitate a community-wide creative placemaking process around a specific place at 4th and Wisconsin. So we've been talking about the West Wisconsin Avenue. We're honing in now to specifically 4th and Wisconsin. You can see it there. This is the 45-degree Google Earth view. And so you can see there the convention center. That's a parking lot, parking structure. It's just 2 big parking lots. So we're discussing specifically this chunk of West Wisconsin Avenue at 4th and Wisconsin. And so Creative Alliance is interested in finding ideas for something to do with this. And you're part of that process. There's 4 main phases of that process: research, discover, understand, and define the problem.
Which is where we are right now.
Ideate, prototype and test concepts, including lighter, quicker, cheaper prototyping opportunities, and choose and present short-term and long-term solutions.
And this conversation about 4th and Wisconsin is really the beginning of many conversations. And the Creative Alliance of Milwaukee in particular has been tasked to engage the community, the business community, the arts community, the academic community, all of us in this space, in this room, to continue this dialogue. And I like what Neil Hoffman said. In terms of a discussion, there's also a lot of listening that has to go into play as well. So this February 2014, in his State of the City address, Mayor Tom Barrett cited the opportunity at 4th and Wisconsin as a priority and one of the catalytic projects for Milwaukee. So we going from the general to more specific. We talked about downtown, we talked about West Wisconsin. Now specifically, we're talking about this intersection. The next page in your pamphlet is to think about what are the opportunities. And again, we're not talking about specifically we need another fruit market, we want Adam's food trucks. Again, 1,000 feet levels. What are the opportunities at this intersection? Please make your notes. The opportunity at 4th and Wisconsin is important because.
Actually, can I ask a question before you start writing? By show of hands, before we just showed you that image, who could close their eyes and tell me what was at 4th and Wisconsin? That's pretty good. Okay, I couldn't before that. Okay, go ahead. All right, so now take about 5 minutes to discuss why this hunk of Wisconsin Avenue in downtown is important amongst your table. I don't remember what we're doing. Do you have the other sheet? Okay. Yep. All right, so all of you are, so everyone at every one of these tables has an affiliation of some kind, or probably multiple affiliations. You have parts of the city you work in, you have organizations, you have maybe multiple organizations and parts of the city you work in. And what we've discussed all day here is how important it is to intersect, how important it is to work across silos with other people. And so what we're doing right now is we're going to ask you to share a little bit with us about how this project and process can plug into and serve you and what you're doing.
Another thing we've talked about is making sure that we have people involved in this conversation at the beginning of the conversation, not when the press conference happens, right? So we're asking you for ways that we can engage your networks, and that's where you are with your work, your colleagues, and people and organizations that you're familiar with. How can we engage your networks in this discussion at this point, this initial point in the process? Please jot some notes, and we'll come back to you for your feedback. Now, you've been so inspired through this afternoon. I'm imagining that each of you wrote down probably 14, 15 ways to engage your networks. Please, around your table, share one suggestion on how your network might be engaged in this conversation at its earliest point.
Are we done? Is that enough? All right, thank you, everybody. So we're going to wrap up now. Thank you, everybody, for participating. So what I want you to do now is take your filled out packet, or as much of it as you filled out. Optional to write your name and email on it, but we definitely want you all to write your sector on it. So whatever you identify your sector to be, please write that on your packet.
Academics, government,
name
art.
and email optional. So a next input session is going to be taking place for this process on May 13th. So there's going to be another session on May 13th at 5 p.m. And so all of you who RSVP'd, look for a message in your inbox next week with details. So there's going to be another one May 13th, but the details are forthcoming.
And overall, again, we're not looking for immediate solutions, but we're asking all of you to keep this conversation and what you've heard today marinating in the back of your minds. So we're going to continue to have you involved in the discussion, and we want you to think about how creative placemaking can be a philosophy and a tactic and a strategy that you can apply in the work that you do in a city. Thank all of you for being here today. Make sure you speak to someone you did know before you got here, and have safe travels. And if you are not in a rush to get anywhere, please stay and network. The bar is open. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.